Forward to being here at the event, and it seems like every year they bring us a new Toyota showcase, and everyone has worked really, really hard on having the ZR1 ready. It was unveiled a couple of weeks ago, and now bringing it to Corvettes in Carlisle. So we want to make sure we welcome our Team Chevrolet guests, including Josh Holder, Chief Engineer. Josh, wave to the crowd. Harlan Charles, Corvette Product Manager. Kirk, Benion, Exterior Design
I'm gonna just come.
Manager.
No, you're fine. I'm just gonna come right here. You stay where you are, but I'm gonna just.
And making his Corvettes in
Yeah, you're good.
Carlisle,
I'm just gonna.
welcome Tony Roma, Executive Chief Engineer. These guys and casting, probably thousands, helped make this car possible. And Josh, first of all, welcome back to Carlisle. How you doing?
Great. We're glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
So what are your thoughts on Corvettes in Carlisle 2024 so far?
Well, the weather has been fantastic. So I already complimented you for ordering it. Whoever else had a part in the weather, it's perfect.
It is absolutely perfect. Great turnout. And when you guys brought the car basically yesterday, day one of the show, people have been flocking to it like this all show long so far. What kind of feedback have you heard from the enthusiasts?
Well, it's flooded the internet as it should. This car is epic. A few of us that are lucky enough to have driven it can only describe it in words, but it's indescribable. It's relentless. 1,064 horsepower. The aero package on the equipped car will make more than 1,200 pounds of downforce. This car that you see here will be the fastest Corvette ever by a wide margin. Just incredible.
When you look at what you see here with this build, and then you see the C1, the 1953 model in the NCRS gallery, what were your thoughts on the past of the Corvette brand coming all the way into the present and essentially the future?
Well, obviously we've got a long legacy, and we like to say we stand on the shoulders of giants, but we have come a very, very long way.
And what an amazing vehicle. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. So Josh, Harlan, Kirk, and Mr. Roma, thank you guys for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Chevrolet, let's learn all about the ZR1.
All right, I know you guys want to hear more about this thing, and I promise we're going to talk a lot about it. And before we get there, I also want to remind everyone that we have a tent well supported with a lot of our Corvette team members from all areas of the business. Pretty much every functional area of engineering is represented in the tent, so please come and see us. That's why we're here, to interact with all of you, to talk to you about cool new things like a Corvette ZR1, but also to get your feedback on all things Corvette. Your interaction with us helps make Corvette better, and that's why we come to great events like Corvettes at Carlisle. You guys may have heard and noticed that Pat Jechter is not here with us today. He's enjoying his recent retirement. Next weekend, he'll be inducted into the Corvette Hall of Fame at the National Corvette Museum. And I mentioned earlier, Taj is not really replaceable. So Tony Roma, who is going to be my new boss, not only replaced Taj, but another executive chief engineer. So Tony's got a big job, but a big part of his job is obviously the Corvette. I've known Tony for a long time. Like all of us, he's a big Corvette fan, and we're happy that he's here with us, getting this face full of customer experience at Carlisle. So I'm going to let Tony introduce himself and talk a little bit about his role.
Thanks, everybody. This is amazing, this whole event. This is my first time here. I've heard about this forever. My uncle, who gave me my Corvette story, everybody's got a Corvette story. Josh and I were talking about this the other day. He's been coming here forever, and he talks about this. And the enthusiasm around the product, as somebody who works on cars, that's all we can ask for, is to do things that people appreciate. And we love the fact that you all appreciate what we do. And when you've got a team that does iconic things like 1,000 horsepower hot rods, it's pretty cool to be involved in this. So I'm super excited to be working on Corvette again. I worked on it earlier in my career, and nobody can really replace Taj, but I'm going to do my best to keep the momentum that the team has built, and I'm just super excited to be part of this team that works on iconic stuff. So thanks.
Hello? Okay, great, thank you.
You might have noticed we've added a few aerodynamic devices to this car. And I'll start at the front. You see we've got this very large hood extractor. That's to give us more capable downforce at the front of the vehicle. Big deal to us, achieving that balance. We work very closely with our aerodynamic group in Warren. We do a lot of simulations, we do stuff still in the wind tunnel. And of course, Tony will tell you that he does a lot of on-track driving to prove out these combinations. The other thing you probably notice is the side of the car has a side inlet, that's for brake cooling. And then obviously we've got big brakes, but we need to keep them cool. We still take air and down and go over the lower portion of the scoop. I've had questions on that. So there's still that split up. And then we've also offered this new top inlet on the hatch here. It gives us a horsepower gain that Tony can talk to. I won't quote that. But here again, that's more to that performance capability. And I'm sure you've seen on the images, we have a new ZTK high wing, and that it's our most capable wing. It's our most high-performing wing. It gives this car the absolute most downforce in that. So we've not only through horsepower, but through aerodynamics, we've done a lot to improve this car. I'll let Harlan tell you what else we're doing.
Yeah, thanks, Kirk. And like Kirk said, so this car that we're looking at is actually the standard aero package. And then in our Chevrolet tent, how many people have been over to see the 2025s? You can see the cutaway chassis of this car, and that car represents what Kirk was talking about, our ZTK performance package, which has the high wing aero, the dive planes, and on straights, cup tires. That's the ultimate ZR1 performance. It also has a taller hood spoiler as well. So on all ZR1s, like you see here, we have a lot of carbon fiber content that's highlighted that comes standard on the ZR1. We have the ground effects, the splitter, the rockers, we have the side intake and brake ducts. And all the ZR1s get a carbon fiber roof, and Kirk and his team designed this swept roof bow idea where you get the carbon fiber swept across. And then a lot of people are excited about, on the coupe hatch, is the new split window. You're saying, well, split window isn't new, 1963? And so finally, we have a split window Corvette again, and it's done really for functional purposes. You get air cooling for the engine extracted out, and you can get that in either body color or exposed carbon fiber split on the rear. So it's a functional way to do it. And you may have seen this if you watch Corvette racing. The GT3 race car has been racing that feature all year, so it's been hidden in plain sight. So I know a lot of you may read the forums or be on the internet and you think you got it all figured out. So it made us happy. For once, we were able to have a surprise on the horsepower with the 1,064 horsepower announced for this car. I don't think many people had that on their wager list for this car. So we really, our powertrain really stepped up, and that's why it's kind of an odd number, because we said give us as much as we can have. It's also the cool thing about this car, as a numbers car, it's like a triple quad car. So it's like 4-digit horsepower, 4-digit torque, if you use metric, over 1,100 newton meters, or 828 pound-feet of torque. And then, like Kirk was talking about, all the 1,000 pounds of downforce capability at top speed as well. We also, this specific car showcases, we have a lot of heritage with the color blue with ZR1, so we really wanted to play that off. So this is it's an all-new wheel. It's available in 4 finishes, but this is the new Edge Blue finish. We have the Edge Blue stripes, the engines on all the ZR1s, the LT7 twin turbo engine is also Edge Blue as well. And then new for 25, available on all the Corvettes, we have this blue stitch package. We've had red and yellow, now we have blue, and the ZR1 itself gets a unique stitch patch package with extra stitching on the doors, Of course, there's ZR1 identification all around. I know a lot of you are going to ask, well, what's the price? When's it out? For right now, we're just saying 2025. We expect production and pricing will be soon as we figure it out. But as you know, a car like this and its capabilities, regardless, it's you're probably going to have to spend millions of dollars to buy a European car that can touch us. And we're very proud of what Corvette has come and our legacy. And I think Josh can really give a lot more details on the engineering behind this incredible car.
Yeah, thanks, Harlan. Harlan and Kirk have been touching about the exterior and all the functional surfaces on all Corvettes. Everything about the outside of the Corvette is for purpose, and some of it is more than one purpose. So Kirk talked about the flow through the hood, which helps cool the giant intercooler heat exchanger that we need to cool the compressed air from the turbos. That's part of what gives us 1,064 horsepower. And that air evacuates the hood over top of the car to help reduce lift, or like we say, produce some downforce. One neat feature though on the ZR1 coupes, you notice these inlets on the top of the hatch. If you can visualize hot air flowing through the 15 different heat exchangers on a ZR1, you'd see some relatively hot flow streams coming out of the top of the hood, like I mentioned. We exhaust the primary heat exchangers, the primary radiators on the corner, and that air washes down the side of the car. So after that's done, there's this little spot here that's got laminar airflow that also happens to be cooled. And that's the perfect spot to take induction air. And we do that because when you're horsing the ZR1 around the way it's meant to be on a racetrack in really hot weather, building up boost air temperatures, that cold air helps sustain that longer, keep that cooler. So you're getting that 1,064 horsepower experience for much longer than that. Harlan talked about the torque of the LT7. To me, the most impressive thing is it has about 800 foot-pounds of torque from 3,000 RPM all the way to 7,000 RPM. That's that relentless experience that we're all trying to describe to you, what it's like to drive the ZR1. This car, as equipped here, would be, if there was such a thing, an entry ZR1. We like to call it the luxury private jet for the street. So yeah, it's got 1,064 horsepower, but it's comfortable to drive for long distances. It's not what we call a 10-minute car. You don't have fun in it for just a short time, enjoy the experience, but then start to get uncomfortable and want to get out of the car. So this we call ride frequency. So think of it as spring stiffness, although it's more than that, but how stiff the car rides is softer than a Z06, than either Z06. When we did that on purpose, we want to make this luxury touring experience with tons of horsepower and performance to kind of fit the mission of ZR1s from the past. And then of course, if you want the all-out track car, the ZTK package will bring spring rates up to that about of a Z07 equipped Z06. Comes with cup tires, more than 1,200 pounds of downforce aero, all that working together to bring some pretty extreme track performance. And we will be showing that off later this year. One of the reasons we revealed the car about a month ago in Miami was so that we could finish our work. I've heard from a lot of you since we got here, hey, where's your ZR1? Where's all the ZR1s? Aren't you guys gonna drive them here? The truth is, we have only a very few ZR1s produced, and they're all non-saleable experimental cars. A few of us have been able to share a couple of cars to get some street experience, but we are in the throes of final development. When you have a car this extreme, you can expect extreme loads through the car, even though it's engineered from the beginning to have an engine as powerful as the LT7. Our wizards in the engine team exceeded even our expectations. So we need to make sure this car is absolutely bulletproof, that it performs the way we want, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. I guess a few more things about the engine that are pretty cool facts. We knew we were going to do a big, powerful engine, so we upgraded 2 of our dynos in Pontiac, Michigan. That's where we do our dyno testing and initial calibration work on engines. After that upgrade, and like Harlan said, we turned the wick up, and we didn't settle on some round number like, paltry 1,060. We wanted as much as we could get. So 1,064 was the number, and in the course of doing that, we broke some of our own dynos, even after their upgrade. So it tells you about what this engine can do. The exhaust stacks from the exhaust gas temperatures that come off of an engine providing this much power, more than one LS7 per bank. Exhaust flows that are incredible would overtemp our exhaust stacks in the dyno. So we could only run it for a little while and we'd have to shut it down. We were making jokes that NASA has a thermal imaging satellite and they noticed a heat plume over Pontiac, Michigan, and we're calling the team to see what the hell is going on. But we're super proud of this car, and like Harlan said, we're also equally happy that we managed to keep it, at least the ultimate power number, a little bit of a secret. As we finish our development, we're going to share numbers with you, and I promise they're going to blow your mind. We didn't really talk about acceleration times, but quarter mile and I would say significantly less than 9.7 seconds at around 150 mile an hour trap speed. So just blistering performance, and we'll share it all with you as we know more. I think Harlan's also going to tell you about, while this is the big news, there are some new things going on in the 2025 model year.
Yeah, in addition to the ZR1, of course, I want to invite everybody, if you haven't come by already, to see the rest of our new 2025 lineup. We have a family now of Corvettes, which is great. Some new details you might want to check out. First of all, new colors. We have the new Hysteria Purple and a new Competition Yellow. We have those on display. We're also bringing back Sebring Orange, which was really a signature color the last time we had a ZR1 in 2019. And we have some new love for the Stingray, new Z51 spoiler design as well, a new Z06 wheel design. We have that shown. And of course, you can see the beautiful cutaway we have in the Competition Yellow of this car with the aero package, the high performance package, and you can see the inner workings of the chassis in the car. And I do want to point out a couple other things. I want to say thank you to all of you. Corvette has almost half of the market share in the luxury sports car segment. So basically there's us and everybody else put together. So thanks to all of you. Also, the Corvette convertible is the #1 selling convertible in America of any convertible. Corvette convertible, best, and of course, retractable hardtop. You all know how great a car that is as well. And we continue with awards. Consumer Reports, remember did they love Corvettes? Yes, Corvette was the most satisfying car ranked by their readers. It was ranked by the most likely to buy again. Of course, who wouldn't buy it again? It's a beautiful car and a great car to drive. And then we also have won awards for the Z06, of course, Performance Car of the Year. The E-Ray won the best performance car from Motor Week, the weekly television show. And just to remind everybody, the E-Ray, who knows where you plug in the E-Ray? Okay, guys, listen, you don't plug in the E-Ray. You use the V8 engine and the electric motor in the front charges automatically. So just getting that message out there as well, make sure everybody knows that. And then one neat thing too, Motor Trend magazine celebrated its 75th anniversary, so just a few years older than Corvette, and they had their readers pick what's the most iconic car of any car in the last 75 years, and of course we know who the winner is. It was the Corvette, of course. Most iconic car over the last 75 years, voted by Motor Trend as well. So there's a lot of exciting things happening in addition to the ZR1 across all the 25 Corvettes, so make sure you come down. We have some beautiful posters for you as well that you may want to have. And anything else, Josh?
I think they covered a lot. I did forget one important detail, and that I didn't mention the brakes. So I talked about how fast the ZR1 goes, we also have to stop it. And we do that with the largest carbon ceramic brakes we've ever done. Some of you have already pointed out the finish on these brakes looks a little bit different than previous carbon ceramic brakes, and they are different. They're much more efficient at rejecting heat, which is exactly what a brake does. It transforms kinetic energy into thermal energy, and you need to reject that heat. And one of the ways these rotors do it is with longer, more continuous strands of carbon fiber, which has more thermal conductivity and can reject more heat. I mentioned that we're going to be in the tent. We've got people doing pep talks, and I encourage you to go see those, especially the one that Dustin Gardner is going to be doing that talks all about the engine. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from that Harlan last year we were talking about, we wanted you to know that you don't plug in the E-Ray, and you guys all got that. The next thing to take away is that the LT7 is not an LT6 with turbos added. It's very, very different, completely designed to be boosted from cylinder heads, combustion chambers, connecting rods, pistons, cam profiles, intake and exhaust manifolds. It's a very different engine, all tuned around this boosted performance. So I think we can take a few questions. We'll see how this goes. We'll start for a while and we'll take a few questions. Matt, you got one right here? I'm not sure it was a real question. You want to know if we're doing test rides? No, not yet.
You said it, you see how it goes. So far, it's not going very well.
Yeah.
Okay, questions on order banks. For all the 2025 Corvettes, except the ZR1, orders are open. This one will be a little bit longer, probably early 2025.
Thank you.
The question was, is there a Nürburgring time? I assume you're talking about for this car. And the answer is no. Because like I said before, we're not done finishing the car. We might get one. We never promise a Nürburgring time. So for those I know, there's a lot of people curious about Nürburgring lap times. We go to Nürburgring to develop the Corvette. We don't go there to set a lap time. So usually when we're there, the car's not done. So even if we did, it wouldn't be a real fair lap time because we've got some work to finish up on it. It's also really challenging to logistically get a bunch of cars over to Germany to set up for a fast lap, not having control of the weather or a lot of other factors. So we won't be there. I'm not going to promise that we're going to set lap times. I will tell you that we will set lap times on tracks that you're used to, maybe a little closer than Germany, and you'll have direct comparison of what the ZR1 can do to other supercars.
I think we have said, though, in just our testing already on the straightest part of the Nürburgring, it's gone over 200.
Yeah, the first time we had there last year, a lot of you saw spy pictures. And the first time that 4 of our drivers took the car out, they were all going faster than 200 miles an hour.
Again, we're not limiting the ZR1 to any specific number. However, a lot of the components, as you can see, go into this car, the carbon fiber, the brakes, things like that, are not high volume types of things, but we're hoping for is kind of similar to ZR1 models in the past, so it's not obviously it'll be lower than the other models, but we're not going to artificially limit it. We're going to make as many as we can, obviously, as many as you guys want them. The question was 0 to 60 we haven't released yet, and there's a question on how similar is this car to the race car, the GT3R. And then we talked about the split window. From the aerodynamics is very similar, although the GT3R is really based on the Z06 engine as well, so it has that difference.
This has way more power than the GT3R.
It's actually right. This is faster than that.
I don't think it would be as quick around the racetrack. The GT3R is a purpose-built race car. It's very lightweight. It's got a lot of downforce.
That's a good question. So the convert, yeah, we do have. I know we didn't talk about this fully, but yes, you can get the ZR1 in the coupe and the retractable hardtop convertible as well. Obviously, the convertible doesn't have some of the features that the hatch can have because it's convertible, like the ducts and the split window. But it does have, the convertible will have, for the first time, a carbon fiber roof with a retractable hardtop as well. So it's still going to be a great performance car. No, these cool the brakes. Yes. Yes, that's a great question. I hope everybody visits our pals at Spring Mountain Run Fellow School over here. And for ZR1, because this car, obviously, so much power, we want to promote driving and safe driving. We're going to include the course with the ZR1. Will be included like we've done in the past. Thanks, good question.
That's a car, boy, huh? I can't afford that. That's why I got a C5. My C5 was $18,000. A lot of money, buddy.
All right, I think we'll.
I didn't know that was this kind of show.
I love it.
He's asking how
How big is your
how things are red.
I don't
It's
care.
big enough. I'll say that. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. You guys aren't very shy about asking questions in public, so I'm sure you'll be the less shy about coming up to us in private here. So we'll stick around and answer more, and then of course, like I said, come see us at the tent.